Everybody, welcome to the new show, Press X to Revolution, which is a video game-focused podcast and channel where a bunch of regular dudes who've been playing video games for a very long time gather together to be like a video game website. We've been following video game websites for a very long time, and I realized with E3 this year, everything was streamed. We can do what the professionals are doing. We've followed the industry as long as some of the people that are doing it for money. Why don't we do this thing that we already do for fun and try to collect it
for
so
no
that other
money.
people, other people can be involved. We want to share the video game fun that we have with other people, make a community of our own, make a revolution to push back against the IGNs of the world, the GameSpots of the world. We can do what they can do.
GameSpot's way worse than IGN, like now.
I'm going to take a hard stance. I'm against corporations.
Right. Well, we're going to become a corporation because we're going to take over the freaking world. Don't say things you're going to regret, my dude.
I'm pro corporations.
The name of this stream reminds me of that shooter game from did y'all play the Aerosmith shooter game in the arcades called Revolution X? And your gun, you were trying to save Aerosmith who had been kidnapped by robots or aliens, and your missiles on the side of your gun were CDs. You would sling gold CDs, because they'd earned so many gold records. And when you started, it would go Revolution X. And you put in...
it was a documentary. I think it's real life.
Oh, it was.
I'm going to go ahead and interrupt this interruption to go ahead and introduce everybody that's here. First of all, I have gotten my good friend Andrew here, who is going to be our shooter, open world, kind of focused dude. Do you want to say anything to the people?
No, except I would also consider myself a sort of RPG player as well. So, don't put me in a box in episode 1.
We all play a little bit of everything. I'm just trying to give people a general feel for everybody. Next up is Alan, who is a history teacher by day and a weeb all the time.
That's definitely true. I played a lot of JRPGs.
Do your students just try to bully you? They're like, dude, freaking this nerd over here. I can't believe we got to listen to this nerd.
I tell my students all the time that I will quit the day I start giving a crap what a 16-year-old thinks of me.
That rule's so hard.
I play a ton of RPGs, and it fills me with rage when we have big things like E3 and they don't show any freaking good RPGs. Instead, we get a bunch of crap.
Hey, keep that attitude down. We got plenty of time for that later.
I'm gonna kill chaos!
In the other corner, we have Marcus representing Generation Z, so it's not just a bunch of old farts here.
Yeah, dude, I don't play video games. Don't care about... No. I was homeschooled, so it's just Minecraft right now, but I'll get through it at some point. I'll beat it, and then...
Anyway, we collectively are Press X to Revolution, and this show is going to be our E3 wrap-up stream. Each week, we are going to have a podcast with different topics, talking about what we've been playing, and discussing other deeper topics. But of course, because E3 just happened, and because, with Alan is a little bit, he can share his opinion later.
It was crap.
But the rest of us, I feel like I've had some fun because it's been 2 years since we actually got E3 coverage because of that dang thing that happened in 2020. We won't talk about it.
Do you guys like that Michael said, and also deeper topics? So it'll be like, this is the video games we played this week, and this is what we think is going to happen when you die. It's like, okay, cool, that's what we're covering, I guess.
Michael, you're implying that E3 is good for E3's sake. E3 is useless to me if there are not good games coming out of it.
E3 is the time when gamers collectively can gather together and
do what?
And celebrate video games, you monster!
By having good RPG news, of which we got nothing, and there was no Sony. Where was Sony, Michael?
All right, that's the first topic we have to discuss. Where the frick was Sony for E3?
What is Sony doing? Why is Sony dropping the ball in this console generation? One, no one can get a freaking system. It is not that hard for Sony to crack down. You sell it directly through your website. You do a random queue. You buy one per household. Done. Thank you, Sony.
The semiconductor shortage is affecting every company. It's not just Sony. It's graphics cards.
It's getting worse.
It's video game consoles. It is getting worse.
Yes.
It's going to get worse. Did you guys hear about that fire in China?
Michael, I understand that fewer people than want it can get it. However, if you get rid of the scalpers, more people who want it can get it than get it now.
I mean, I'm not going to propose that we as a federal country design some kind of organization of headhunters who have to take out scalpers?
I do.
By non-violent means.
Track their IP address and then punch them in the throat.
Yeah.
Virtually.
No, physically go to their house.
Yeah.
Knock, knock, knock. God.
Who the frick cares about a space force?
Dude, I'm telling you,
a scalper force.
Michael, I'm telling you, ever since I watched Alan's first video where he said he was a revolutionary and I laughed so hard, I'm like, I can get behind this guy's idea. We can start punching people in the throat.
But
for
Sony,
video games.
Sony is also dropping the ball with the lack of a competitor to Xbox Game Pass. No access to the back catalog except through the garbage of PS Now. Like, not showing up at E3. Instead, all we got was 2 weeks earlier a 20-minute clip of Horizon Forbidden West, which isn't even coming out this year.
You forgot. They also had a press release Q&A where they just said that we basically delayed everything.
Yeah.
This is actually worse than that because anything that we thought might be 2021, they changed our mind on.
Not everything. Ratchet and Clank. Don't forget about Ratchet and Clank.
Ratchet and Clank did come out during E3.
And then you have Pete, old CEO Pete, whoever he is. Pete being like, you know what? No one cares about those old trashy games. We're not gonna, why would anyone want to play that? Why do this is like the school board. My school board is filled with people who have never been in education. And the CEO of Sony, I bet he's never played a video game in his life. I bet he doesn't even know how to use the dual analog stick.
As somebody from Generation Z, I will definitively say if it's older than me, I couldn't care less about it.
Most people your age are playing Minecraft.
And that goes for all of the people on this stream.
Minecraft is technically a last generation game, so
technically two.
But I got grandfathered into Minecraft because I was homeschooled, so I wasn't allowed to play any other video game.
Mm-hmm. Well, everyone knows that homeschooling is at least 5 years behind the curve.
Look, Pete needs to step down. They need to
5 years is generous.
They need to make Hideo Kojima the CEO of Sony, and then we'll have some we will have some bizarre tech. We will be playing video games through our skin.
Yes.
I think Kojima, if he's proved anything, it would be that he works the best with infinite power and freedom to do whatever he wants.
Kojima is the Christopher Nolan of video games, and someone has to tell him no eventually, or you eventually end up with Tenet.
Yeah.
Talking about Sony, though, again, they've doubled down with this VR headset. Nobody cares. VR is not the future of video games. People get sick. Nobody cares. Stop,
maybe
Sony.
Coward babies get sick.
I love VR, but I don't even think they're doubling down on VR. I think that they are just straight up the studios that they have do not have games that are ready.
Correct.
And they decided that they were not going to do any major streams because the major games they have are not ready, and they do not have as many companies that Microsoft has, and all their studios are tapped. And it is an awful look. One of the reasons I enjoyed this E3 was because more so than many other years of E3, we got nonstop game trailers from start to finish. Whether you care about the games, sorry, Alan, is a different question. But we got nothing but games this year, and that makes me excited because that's what I freaking want to see at E3 is some actual video games.
But this is also pretty typical for a year after a console release, which technically was last year.
It's just so weird because of the pandemic.
Yeah. Yes, the pandemic threw everything off.
I think that's the reason that Sony is so screwed. The thing is, Microsoft has a lot of indies to be able to help. I don't know what else. Maybe it's just their sheer number of studios, but they were able to bring a lot of crap when Sony basically admitted we don't have anything until next year, which kind of sucks.
It does, and I'm not just talking about their lack of showing at E3. The direction that Sony is taking shows me that they're going to lose the goodwill that they gained during the last part of this last console era and go back to the beginning or the end of the PS3 where no one played a freaking Sony system, where they tried to cash in. Remember when everyone tried to cash in on Wii's motion controls? Stop it. Sony gained a lot of goodwill back at the end of this console generation.
Yeah,
and they are losing it. And the direction that Sony is taking, it does not inspire confidence to see what they're doing.
I don't know that I'd say that they're losing it yet. It's definitely a downward trend, and I'm not liking the where it's starting to go.
Yeah.
But I feel like they are in the public eye for a lot of people. They're nailing it with their first party studios, and a lot of people are ready to continue playing those first parties. But yeah, I think there are some things that are showing that where it's like, man, they're really just going to ride this cash cow until they run it to the ground again and have to resurrect the whole thing.
As much as it appears to be that, I don't know if that's actually what's happening. I think what's happening is Microsoft is flexing hard by saying, hey, we're the Windows people. We have a lot more money than you do. And so Sony obviously killed it in the PS4 generation, I think.
Yeah.
And moving into the Xbox generation, what Xbox has said is, we're going to buy more companies than you. We're going to make more games than you. We're going to make everything cross-play and release on PC. And guess what? You just buy Game Pass and you get 27 of our 30 new announced games for Game Pass. And I just don't think Sony can... I think what they're doing is they're taking a huge loss to get that goodwill so that they kind of crush Sony, and I don't think Sony has a way.
And it makes no sense. It makes no sense that they have not yet addressed, because all they have said is, we're working on something with nothing else. Like the fact that they are not addressing Xbox Game Pass, and it doesn't make any sense that they are leaving money on the table without offering people a way to get those freaking backlog games. It doesn't make any sense.
Was it 3 or 4 years ago when Sony announced the partnership with Microsoft's enterprise stuff with Azure, and that they were going to start moving some of their stuff over there? Like that, to me, that sets up like maybe they are thinking about Game Pass and these things and want to start setting up that stuff. Microsoft's enterprise infrastructure is so much more large than anything Sony has. And so, I mean, we saw when they tried to use their own ideas with PlayStation Now, and we all know how that works. Yes, it does.
The bare minimum that Sony needs to do, in my opinion, is they should take PlayStation Now and they should flip the games that are on PlayStation Now to an Xbox Game Pass style. You download these, you play these games locally. That's a bare minimum thing for them to start. It's not a very big selection of their back catalog, but it's some of it, and it would allow you to play those games in a usable way, because as someone that is even moderately understanding of the way that latency works in games, I'm sorry, but as someone that works in an internet service provider, I cannot buy into the idea that internet game streaming is anywhere close to ready with the average game, especially when they're the games you develop to the PS2 were built for screens that had freaking way faster response times than what we're dealing with. There's no way you can play that on an HD screen over PlayStation Now lag.
When I can emulate a PS2 game on my phone, there's no reason that I should not be able to access a PS2 game on my PlayStation 5. It doesn't make any sense, and it's money on the table. Would everyone play PlayStation 2 games? No, but the weebs absolutely would, because the PlayStation 2 is the golden era of JRPGs. I would absolutely pay for it. I'd pay $15.
There are licensing problems I think we have to deal with, but even if they just flipped the Now stuff to a subscription service and you've downloaded the games and played them locally, and frick, I'd play some of those dumb games again.
Surely they would have to go back and renegotiate all those licensing deals, but I think
that's the hard part.
Yes.
They're Sony.
Yes, but they're Sony. They're not Microsoft. They don't have as many resources to do that Microsoft did.
So tell them to make a few more Spider-Mans and then just let's go.
I mean,
not Spider-Man the game, Spider-Man the movie. I'm sure it makes enough money.
Their first-party games are well received.
Yes.
They seem great. They just don't have a lot of first party studios, so they have to work with what they have. And so I'm trying to think, what are ways that they can make easy steps forward to try to regain some of this lost barrier here. And what they should have done is, if they couldn't do anything else, just show the indie games that are coming to PlayStation, even if they're coming to every other system, just come out and say, hey, if you have a PlayStation 5, if you just happen to get one of these games, if get one of these consoles, here's some games that are coming out. Because as far as PlayStation owners are concerned, there's nothing coming out. They straight up said, hey, there's nothing coming out here. And so we know, of course, as gamers, that third-party games are going to be coming to the system. Indie games are coming to the system, but we don't know what they are unless we specifically follow some weird back channel, because they had an opportunity they didn't have to do it E3. They could have done their own stream during E3 and said, here's a bunch of indie games that are coming to our platform, because their competition said, here's 30 games, a bunch of them are first party, 27 of them are included in Game Pass, and PlayStation is just like, we got nothing.
So I do want to point out that there are, these are rumors at this point, but insiders are at Sony are leaking that Sony is planning on doing a press conference, not an E3 conference, but probably just another state of play, before the end of the summer. So I mean, they are planning on doing something else.
They could have done it right before E3,
I agree.
after E3.
I agree, but I do want to point that out that they are wanting to at least get some more information out.
Because all casuals are just going to be like, oh, they didn't announce anything. So if you were going to get a PS5 and then they didn't announce anything, and you're like, okay, well, I guess I'm now trying to get an Xbox. Right? Like, if I want to play games.
Exactly. If you don't have a next-gen system and you watched E3, you should go buy an Xbox
Guys,
or PC.
I will stand by the statement I'm about to make. Yeah. The only launch title for any of these systems that has ever been worth a dang is Gladius for the original Xbox. That's the only launch title that's ever been fun. I don't understand why it is so freaking hard to launch a
launch title that's ever been fun is a very bold statement. Are you talking only Microsoft and Sony?
No,
yes,
I'm talking about Knack, dude?
If you exclude
Knack
Nintendo, I'll buy that.
Dude,
if you exclude Nintendo,
dude, it's
I will
so
accept
bad.
it.
Why is it so hard for these people to come out with a game that anyone wants to play? Do y'all know anybody who's played Godfall? Have you heard of anybody who's played Godfall?
Have you heard of Godfall?
I think Godfall looks rad, but I have not played it.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Okay, so Sony has great first-party games. Fantastic.
Yes.
And the ones that are exclusive to them, like freaking like Naughty Dog is one of the best studios, like working today. Everything they produce is gold. But we got to wait like 5-6 years between games for them.
Which makes sense. I mean
it does. It's just like they cannot live on Sony does not live on Naughty Dog alone. To paraphrase.
Yes. I mean, they have Sony Santa Monica. They have
what does Sony Santa Monica produce?
God of War.
God of War.
They're making the next God of War.
So that's
God of War Ragnarok announced for next year.
They have
but that's that's like a 4-year turnaround.
If they want to, they can give more money to Kojima.
Well, didn't they?
So we can get another Death Stranding.
Death Stranding 2 get announced?
No, it was
like a director's
cut. Yeah.
I heard most people said there wasn't enough in Death Stranding. Like they wanted just more of it.
They have Insomniac.
Okay, so what's the last thing Insomniac's done besides Ratchet and Clank?
Spider-Man?
Well, they did Spider-Man, Miles Morales.
Guys, like if it's a Marvel
don't
property,
talk about my boy like that. Don't talk about my boy like that, Alan.
I love Spider-Man, and I played the Spider-Man for the PS4. All right, I did, but I don't care about Marvel games. Like I don't care about. I don't want licensed properties. Like I don't want, like if I want a Spider-Man thing, I will watch the Spider-Man movie or I'll read a comic, which is, how I first ingested Spider-Man. I don't really need Spider-Man. Maybe the only like licensed game I actually play.
Your weird proclivities aside, those are big money makers though.
Yeah,
like they need some of those on the system to get that money.
I don't care.
You want Sony to be better. You need them to sell other games.
No, I need them to make games that I want to play.
Listen, this is the unfortunate reality of the world. They need to sell games you don't like so they can make the JRPGs that no one else plays.
That's fair.
Yeah.
The thing is, they don't make the JRPGs. Someone over in Japan makes it in a little tiny studio, works in his tatami room, and then he brings it out and gives it to Sony. But
they made Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima is an excellent game.
Oh,
it's actually doing really well. No, Tsushima's fantastic.
Okay,
like
I want to play that game.
The Japanese studios are like, why did an American studio make this game?
Yeah,
and from what I hear, Tsushima 2 is in the pipeline. No, Tsushima was excellent and did really well. They're still supporting it with content.
All right, we might have to talk later about Tsushima.
No, Tsushima's good. It's excellent.
All right, so moving on for this conversation, I think we've exhausted it. Let's go ahead and talk about the games. Which sorry,
games?
Alan.
What games?
The games that we saw at E3, because there was nothing but nonstop games. There was no really hardware talked about. Well, there was, but I don't want to address that weird Intellivision thing. I don't know if anyone else saw the weird Intellivision thing.
The Game & Watch?
Well, there's also there's the Zelda Game & Watch. But ignoring that, let's talk about the games that we saw at E3 that we all want to talk about. Yes. Alan, do you have the list in front of you, or do you want me to prompt you? Because we all wrote down games that we want to talk about.
You can prompt me, because I don't have the list in front of me.
Okay, Alan, the first game you wanted to talk about. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's the Suikoden
Chronicles?
Aiden Chronicles? Okay, so Aiden Chronicle is Konami, because Konami hates the consumer, just like most video game developers, and no longer produces good games. So Konami now only makes pachinko machines. One of their main weeb properties was Suikoden, which the last Suikoden, Suikoden 2, came out on the frickin' PlayStation 2. That is how long Suikoden fans have been waiting for a Suikoden 6.
You brought this up in your top 10 RPG
I did. I did. And so some of the initial developers of Suikoden, the original developers of Suikoden, and people who have worked on other like JRPGs, I forget, I would have to look it up, they have just finished a Kickstarter that is like, I think it was the fastest video game Kickstarter like in history. And they are making a spiritual successor to Suikoden. The art style, it's the art style of Octopath Traveler for one of the Nintendo systems, which I don't have. But the gameplay of Suikoden. And it's called Eiyuden Chronicle. It is coming to all systems, including PS5. And it looks you're gonna have 108. You're gonna have 108 stars of destiny. So it's Suikoden. It's just called something different. And because Microsoft is on the ball, they, in one of their conferences, talked about a kind of like an action RPG like side title to that, like a Eiyuden Chronicles 100 Heroes. Maybe that's the original. There are two Eiyuden Chronicles coming out. The Eiyuden Chronicles, it's the Suikoden, and then there's an action RPG set in the same world that is coming out. Who knows if it's coming out for PlayStation? It's definitely coming out for Microsoft or for the Xbox and computer. So it is a second Eiyuden Chronicles game in the same world that is an action game. But I am so excited because Suikoden is such a good game. And the gameplay it's old school. It's going to be the most weeb-tastic game we've had in a while. And so I'm pumped. If I can't play the side game, that's fine. If that's not coming to PlayStation, I'm okay with that. Okay. The fact that Eiyuden Chronicles itself is coming to PS5 excites me. And my brother got in the Kickstarter, and so he, gets all this advanced crap, which fills me with sadness. But that is probably the game. It's not the game I'm most excited about, but it is like one of like 4 games that I was interested in.
I loved the look of Eiyuden Chronicle. Like when they showed that trailer, it was immediately like, this looks cool. I kind of want to. I want to check this out.
It's so fun. Yeah, it's so fun. Or so
exactly. I was going to point out we got a lot of these JRPG looking like 2D meets 3D combination, kind of like Bravely Default or whatever, or like you said, Octopath Traveler. There was a lot of that art style in both indie games and some of the JRPG stuff. Look at this year. That art style looks amazing. Yeah. And I also don't know if it's actually that complicated to make compared to some of the like super HD stuff. So it's a brilliant.
There was a game that came out last year called 13 Aegis Rim that was this blend of 2D and 3D stuff, and it was gorgeous, and the story was awesome. Yeah. The combat sequence where you fight in big mechs was like an RTS game. It was super fun. Like it was an excellent game that came out as like something else huge that came out last year, so like no one knew about it, but
sure.
It was good.
The next game on your list is called Sacrifier, and I don't remember seeing that at
Sacrifier may not have been at E3, but it was a game that
if there was a trailer that came out anywhere near E3, I'd count it. So
there was a trailer, and it is based on Vagrant Story, which is a not well-known game from the PlayStation 1 era. But Vagrant Story was set in the same world as Final Fantasy Tactics, so Evilus, but it told this really dark, like Shakespearean story. Like, in fact, the last boss of Vagrant Story is this guy who's kind of was on your side the whole time, named Guildenstern. And it was just about this city that had just been taken over by kind of like darkness. And the combat is so iconic that my friend and I, we shorthand anything that's tedious. We just go 1, 1, 1, because the combat is based on combos, like button time, real-time button times. So when you would fight guys above your level with like whatever weapon you choose, you hit him and you do 1, and you press the button again as you're hitting it, and it hits again. 1, 1, and eventually, if you connect enough hits fighting something that high above you, you'll start doing 15, 25. Like every successive hit does more damage. It builds this kind of combo meter, and it was hard. It was so hard for a PlayStation 1 like weeb game. And so that is the combat style that they're bringing to Sacrifier. And it's also going to be that kind of 2D Octopath Traveler art style.
You just did a great job about reverse selling me on that game. That does not sound fun, dude.
It was definitely a tough game, but the storyline made it worth it. Like, there were times where we're like, Fen, why does it take so long for us to kill this freaking guy? Because, you know, it like you're trying to grind down one of these big, huge rhino things, and you're just like, one, and then you break the combo, you screw it up, and you just got to start back at one. But the storyline was so good that it made it worth it. Like, the storyline was excellent. One of my favorite storylines in a PS1 game. So it's called Sacrifier. I think it's next year sometime, 2022.
What about this Tales of Arise game?
Tales of Arise is September 10th. I am excited about Tales of... Okay, so Tales of Arise, the Tales of games, have been some of my favorite RPGs forever. Because I had a multi-tap for not only the PlayStation 1, but also PlayStation 2. So I've been playing since Tales of Destiny on the PlayStation 1. I've been playing these games 4 players with my friends. Now, with the recent ones like Zestiria and Berseria, we're old now, and so no one has any time to play anymore. So I had to play Berseria alone, which was really lame. But they're always fun, real-time combat.
Is it like an action RPG? You said you use a multi-tap, so what is...
So the battles are action. You run around and you find a guy on the screen, you touch him, and then it brings you to a battlefield. And what happens is you have normal attacks, and then you connect special attacks to your face buttons and directions. So if I press up and circle, it does whatever I linked there. Down and circle, left and right have their own. And you earn other ones by powering up those. So they track your usage, and the more you use one, it'll like kind of upgrade and power up. And there's always like between 6 and 8 characters that join you. The storylines are pretty basic anime. They're very often power friendship. The storylines vary in quality. Tales of Abyss for the PlayStation 2 had the best storyline. Some people say the GameCube one. The GameCube one's good. It's not as good as Abyss. Because Abyss, in the PlayStation 2 one, you start with this like really like selfish... Hold on. Nobody cares! That is my cat that will not be quiet. You start as this like son of a duke who's like super like do what I say. Thinks he's like hot crap, and then like his actions through the first half of the game result in literally the world nearly getting destroyed. Like, it just wipes out an entire continent. And so the second half of the game is he like cuts his hair, and he's determined to make up for what a little crap he was in the first half of the game. And it's just like, you're just like, oh my gosh, like they did literally just destroy the world because of this stupid kid. And so it's really good. So this new one, there's a thing in the Arise has this guy who can't feel pain, who uses this sword called the Sin Cleaver. And he's got a patch eye and everything because he's super edgy. And he's from the lower world of slaves, and he meets this woman from the upper world who keep the slaves, and she frees him, and they go on this, whatever quest they're on. I don't know, but they showed a new trailer at E3 showing the last 4 characters. And there's, you've got the young wizard, which is dumb. You've got the guy who only he doesn't use a weapon, martial artist, like, should we punch him? He's got that voice. And then the ones they showed at E3 were awesome. There's this paladin-looking woman who uses a mace and a huge shield, and some other one that I don't care about. But I'm super excited. Tales of Arise comes out in September, and it's taken so long because they changed it to the Unreal 4 engine, which doesn't mean anything to me. But it's apparently...
It's a weird choice because I'm pretty sure Unreal 5 is what we're currently up to.
It might be cheaper for licensing, though.
Yeah.
True.
So they're using the Unreal 4 engine, which apparently makes the graphics look much, much better, and the action is like much punchier.
Than 3, yes.
Yeah, I'm not sure they were using an Unreal engine at all before. But this is the first time a Tales game has been on the Unreal 4 engine. So I just read an article today about someone who played the first who played a 3-hour demo of it and said it was super fun. And nice. They have high hopes for the first Tales game in a while, because their standard fare. Berseria was pretty good. Zestiria, the one before that, was garbage. So they kind of vary in quality.
if I ever make a JRPG, I will hire you to play the voice actor of the like, dude, we gotta punch him now.
Punch him. Yeah, just like in Chaos, you got the guy who's like, I hate doing pest control. Like, shut up. I hate that character.
What was his name? Jed?
Is that Jed or is that the other one? There's Jack, Jed, and it's another like... It's
there's another weird... We'll get to that game.
It's another LFO band member
we'll get
character
there.
name.
It's coming.
Unfortunately, that seems to be the end of your list, Alan.
No, Chaos is on there.
Oh, no. Sorry, I didn't write Chaos on you. Oh, Chaos is on somebody else's list. We'll talk about it in a little bit.
Okay.
There is one more game on Alan's list, though.
Elden Ring.
Oh, well, Elden Ring is on Alan's list, and I think we can go ahead and talk. We'll talk about it now, I guess.
This is
all
actually,
of us probably have things to say.
I think all of us want to play Elden Ring.
Dude, Elden Ring looks so good.
It's so
and
good.
I saw another article today that said they're making it slightly more accessible to newcomers. So they said there's no difficulty setting, but it will be slightly easier than Soulsborne games are in general. And right now, everyone's like, oh my gosh, you're just making it dumb for the little babies that are going to play it. How dare they make it easier? But if you're not one of those people, I'm excited that it's going to be slightly easier.
I mean, okay, like if I have a feeling that if they are going to lower the difficulty, there will probably also be optional fights in the game that are very hard. Like, I have never had a negative Souls experience thus far. I've only played 1, 2, and Bloodborne. But I've never had a negative Souls experience so far. I think that Bloodborne is technically easier than Dark Souls, but that did not stop me from enjoying it.
Yeah.
The internet disagrees. The internet says Bloodborne's harder.
Because I think they played the crazy chalice dungeons that are optional. I think if you include those, it's not necessarily as easy.
Which is hard as crap.
Yeah, there was nothing in Bloodborne like
Elden Ring. Elden Ring looks like it combines the just like regular gothic medieval fantasy and eldritch horror and its own weird, like it just looks like dark fantasy metal as crap in a way that combines all of the different dark, because they're all that awesome. They're all that, but it looks like a combination of them all.
It looks incredible, and it's coming out February?
I think so. Next year.
I think it's February.
They've showed very little actual gameplay, but you know kind of what it is. They've showed the art, which is the main thing I think most people are excited about. The art is the thing that's selling it for people. You know it's a Souls-like. You know that the art looks the way that it does, and that alone has so many people hype, and I'm one of them.
I completely forgot George R. R. Martin was a writer on that game.
It's because I don't know what that actually means. It means he could have showed up for a day and said, like, cool.
Well, I think it means that in January it's going to get postponed till 2030. That's what it means.
It means the ending of it's going to really fall apart.
Yeah,
everyone's going to love it, and they're just going to get really mad.
Well, the trailer only mentioned Miyazaki as a writer, but the wiki article includes George R.
That's because at the beginning they were trying to use that as a selling point, but I don't know what that actually means. It literally means he could have been a consultant.
I don't think Martin after season 8 of Game of Thrones his name has the cash it did.
Probably
when this started. But it looks really, really good.
It does. It looks awesome.
Yeah, and I'm super excited. The freaking Hunter DLC for the old Hunters DLC for Bloodborne. Are you like, oh my gosh, like it's so hard. But I'm really excited to play Elden Ring. I don't know if you get to create your own character if you play, because I know in Sekiro there's only one character. Like you don't get to make your own like you do in Bloodborne and the Dark Souls.
I don't actually find making my own character that important in those games. Like you can do it in the other games, but also most of the time you're wearing armor or you don't see your face. I don't know.
You're hollowing.
Yeah, I mean like choosing a play style is what I mean.
Like a weapon set. That's I'm guessing. Well, I guess I don't know because those games have handled it differently. Bloodborne is different than Dark Souls.
What did you use in Bloodborne? What did you use in Bloodborne?
Well, there was the axe, the whip, and what else?
Yeah, I used a whip.
I didn't beat it, but I used the cleaver and the cleaver. Those are the starting weapons.
Mm-hmm. I was the axe.
Hunter axe. Yeah,
that was my first playthrough, or my first go at that game was an axe. The second one, I think I used the whip. I can't remember.
I used the axe for a very long time until you got that sword that was like, the anime giant sword.
Yeah. Nice. I used the axe the whole way through with the cleaver when I needed a weapon. Like, there were a couple bosses I just needed to be able to attack faster, so I used the cleaver for that.
Bloodborne, good game.
Great game. I love that game.
All right, Andrew.
Yes.
What are the games you saw at E3 that you want to talk about?
Oh, man. So, going into E3, I really only cared about one thing. There was one thing that I wanted to see. I wanted to be awed by, and that was Halo Infinite. I was very disappointed with how that game got treated. I feel like Halo got shafted in E3 at the Microsoft conference this year. They opened with Starfield, which I'll get to in a minute. But they threw it in the middle of the conference. They showed, hey, here's the creative director. He's been on since Combat Evolved. He created ODST. You guys love that game, right? He's doing this too. And then they showed like a cinematic thing. They showed a lot of grapple hook, and then that was it. And that was all I got of the campaign. And it really left me like, what is going on in this game? Like, it was supposed to come out last year. They pushed it. COVID probably had a huge part to do with it. But a large part of it was when they showed the actual gameplay trailer last year, fans kind of, there was a section of the internet that poo-pooed it. And Microsoft's like, all right, we're going to pull it. And we're going to continue working on it. And then it just has been quiet from them since. And so this was the first, like, all right, where are we at? Are we on track? And then they showed that it was like, oh man. And then the nail in the coffin was when they come in at the end of the conference and they're like, holiday 21. It's like, you don't even have a date. Like,
I mean, it's going to get delayed, I'm guessing. I think that what we've discovered this year is something that I have felt for a while now, but I think Microsoft is finally acknowledging it, which is that Halo is not the franchise that it once was. I think that the multiplayer has been surpassed by other games. I think that it tried to catch up to those other games. It lost kind of what made it original. And now it's like, it is trying to get that Call of Duty money because they announced that the multiplayer is going to be free to play.
Yes.
But I don't know if it's going to get that multiplayer base that like your Warzones have.
Right. So you're correct. I do not think you're going to get the numbers that you get with Warzone or a Battlefield. You're probably going to be closer to Titanfall numbers, honestly. But
that would be awful if they spend all this money and it gets up Titanfall numbers. That's horrible.
Yeah, but there's that core fan base who loves Halo multiplayer, and I will say the Halo multiplayer looks cool. It looks awesome. I want to play it, and if it's going to be free to play, cool. I will play that, and I've got a group of friends that we will be on that weekly, shooting each other and getting those Slayer kills. But
at what point did Call of Duty multiplayer surpass Halo multiplayer? And
Call of Duty 4. Call of Duty 4.
The first
Modern Warfare. I think Modern Warfare versus Halo 3 was still a closer battle. But by the time you got to like Modern Warfare 2, I feel like it was
yeah, because
they also Call of Duty comes out way more often than Halo, right?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. They
have 3 different Call of Duty. Well, at the back in that day, you had 3 different Call of Duty studios, and they were releasing them.
No, at that time it was just Infinity War.
3 years.
At that point, it was just Infinity War, and then
by the time it got to the yearly releases, there were 3 different studios on a 3-year cycle.
Bobby Kotick was like, I could just like throw all of my studios into this one game and then make just cash roll. And so that's what they did. But I would probably agree with that. Halo 2 Modern Warfare 2 is probably when the multiplayer started kind of peaking over Halo. And then Halo 4 just never caught on the way that they wanted it to. And then Halo 5 certainly didn't. So it just kind of went downhill from there.
Halo 5 is where they finally put the nail in the coffin for me, which is where they took out the freaking local co-op mode in Halo, which is the reason I played Halo.
They took out local co-op in Halo 5?
Yes. Absolutely. And I did not buy that game at launch because they did that. I was going to play that with Marc, and I did not.
We beat Halo 4 the day it came out. I came over, we just played the whole day.
Yep. So
I remember not enjoying Halo 4 very much. I played it.
It wasn't. It was
fine.
It was good.
It was fine.
It was good.
It was, which is sad because it was really 343's like, all right, we are now the new Halo people. We're gonna make Halo 4, and the first thing that
was the beginning of their descent.
It really was, and so but for me, Halo yes, the multiplayer was big, but the story was something. As simplistic as it was, I fell in love with the Space Marine John Spartan. You know,
are you excited about the Infinite story? Like, they give us
they haven't shown anything.
They've got a story trailer, a teaser, whatever.
They give like a little, okay, Cortana's still rogue. Like, there's nothing in there. The mission always changes. Like, there wasn't any gameplay in there. Like,
the mission always changes. That's their t-shirt this time.
The 343 story of just like it hasn't been good, and so it's been really sad. But like, as someone who read the Halo books and got really into the lore, and like, just it's really sad watching the series kind of go down. I will still enjoy the multiplayer. I'll still play it with my friends, but I was really hoping that Microsoft would show me why I should buy the campaign, and they didn't. And so
they need to show another moment. There needs to be another moment the first time you see the flood in Halo 1. Yeah. Which was so, you're just like, you think you're against the Covenant and then the freaking flood shows up? Mm-hmm. It was terrifying.
Yeah. They really, and they tried to do that with the Prometheans in Halo 4. And it just, it wasn't the same.
That's what I call pulling a Kingdom Hearts, when you just keep adding new enemies.
They really wrote themselves, I won't say wrote themselves, they finished the story. Halo 3 came out, you finished the fight. And they should have stopped it there, or maybe made prequels.
They could have skipped a bunch. Yeah, they could have skipped a bunch of time, or gone back
exactly.
in time.
Master Chief is dead.
You different. Yeah, like new characters.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff they could have done, and they just tried to continue to milk that master. Yeah, so we'll see how it goes, but I'm not holding high hopes right now.
All right, let's bounce through a couple of these quicker.
Yeah, let's get through really quick. Some honorable mentions. Atomic Heart. One of the weirdest games I saw.
That was the weirdest trailer I saw probably the entire E3.
It was incredible.
That was the most totally dissonant trailer I've ever seen in my life.
It was incredibly weird, but I appreciated it, and that game could be really interesting. Let me hit on this real quick. Starfield.
Sure.
That's a game from Bethesda that I was like, sweet. I love space operas. Give it to me. Fallout is cool. I played Fallout 4. That was really fun. You're going to put that in space? Sweet. We're opening the conference with Starfield, and all we got was a cinematic trailer.
Did you really expect any better?
It's supposed to be coming out next year, Michael.
Yeah, but also...
It's not going to.
Mr. T. Thoward, as we'll call him.
Yeah.
They announce games way too early, and then they don't show anything because they don't have anything. So the fact that they even gave it a date to me was kind of surprising, even if it's kind of in the future.
Yeah. They just, it was just a year. They just put a 2022 label on it. Like, it's not
Atomic Heart looks like Bioshock.
It looks weird.
Right now. It looks like Bioshock. There's a dude with the lightning.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Let's see here. Riders Republic.
It looks fun.
Yeah. Oh, wait, no, I'm getting it mixed up. Shredders is the one that looked meh. Riders Republic was the one from Ubisoft that looked awesome.
Riders Republic looks awesome.
It looked like it would roll.
Yeah, but you have to appreciate, Alan,
plug your ears real quick. Riders Republic looks like a bunch of freaking college-age people go to a mountain and decide to have a snow fest with the X Games, and it looks so dumb and so cool. It's like the closest thing that I could get to an SSX spiritual sequel might be Riders Republic, and I want it to be that so bad.
Dude, Michael, it looks dumb.
Shut up, Alan.
Well, I mean, you're not wrong. It does
it looks dumb on purpose, though.
I think that's the
during
idea.
the trailer, that guy wipes out and he's just like dead in the background while people are talking.
It looks fun. Yes.
Yeah. No, let me shred that pillow.
We got wingsuits. We got first-person bikes. We got third-person bikes. We got freaking snowboarding.
First-person bike, dude.
Maybe the first-person bikes looks weirdly fun.
I've wiped out on a bike too many times. I was like, oh, yikes. Like, this doesn't... Like, I've been here, and this is not fun.
Yes.
The soundtrack, dude. If the soundtrack for that game is good, it's probably going to be fun to play. Especially with a bunch of idiots running around wiping out, man.
Yeah. Yes. So, a couple other things they announced of the Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. I'm excited about that, mainly because I want a more accessible way to play Final Fantasy 3.
Hey, Alan, did you have something to say about that Pixel Remaster?
I do. It doesn't make any sense why they don't bring that to consoles.
Yeah.
Why would you not just... seriously, you can take money from console buyers, from console players.
Yeah. This one, I agree with Alan here. That is such a weird that it's mobile and PC only. It's why. I don't know if there's a dumb licensing deal.
I don't know.
Because it's like a Nintendo on some things and Sony on the others. But frick,
probably.
it really seems like a bad decision that they're not dropping on the consoles.
Yeah, it's so weird. As someone who got my SNES Classic and started playing through their Final Fantasy 3.
That's right.
And loved it. So I want a more accessible way because I don't want to have to sit with my 2-foot cable from the SNES to the TV and then my 2-foot cable from the SNES to my hands. Like I want an easier way to play that game. So I'm excited that that's going to be more accessible. Forza Horizon 5. I love the Horizon games. That game, I hope that game is fun. I did not like 4. I thought 4 was boring. I know I'm one of the few, but I really hope Forza 5 is good.
I think that game looks fun. The cars look good.
Yes. That's some good looking cars. New consoles, new cars. That's what you get.
Yep.
Advanced Wars. I am pumped for that.
I can't decide if... So I love tactics games. I really do. But the fact that they're redoing the original Advanced Wars instead of making new Advanced Wars makes me just confused, I guess. Which I know people that love those games. It's just a weird choice to me.
I love tactics games, and I've wanted to play those games forever, so I'm glad that I'll be able to play them. I love the rename Reboot Camp.
Yeah, it's advanced. Yeah, I wrote it down somewhere else. Dang it! It was like Advanced Wars 1+2 Reboot Camp.
Reboot. Yes, it's great. So I'm really excited about that.
That's a good old JRPG title.
Also, anything coming out on the Switch that's fun is good.
Yeah, I'll take more Switch games.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You can take
games
with you.
need to stop coming out on the Switch.
No, they don't, man. I don't have a PS5 yet. I need games that come out on the Switch so I can play stuff.
I am fine with that as long as they stop being Switch exclusive, like freaking SMT5.
Couple knockouts here.
Weebs don't have Switches. Families of 4 have Switches.
That can't be true.
Dude.
That can't be
have
true.
Switches,
Which is weird
Switches.
because it's the only...
Yes. 12 minutes. Looks like a cool game.
12 minutes looks
it looks fun.
Rad.
It looks fun.
I've been watching 12 minutes trailers for like 6 years now, being excited for that game.
Yes.
And evidently, I guess is it Microsoft was like, hey, this looks awesome. We're going to give you a real budget for this. And so now the game looks even better. They've got real voice actors in there. It looks flipping rad.
Did you see the voice actors they have for that game now?
James McAvoy,
Daisy
Ridley, Willem Dafoe. Holy crap.
Dude.
Willem Dafoe rules.
For people that don't know, 12 minutes it's like a Groundhog Day thing. You play the same 12 minutes over and over, and different choices will change things, and you can use that knowledge to go forward into the next loop to try to change things again, to try to progress the story, and it looks awesome.
Yes.
It looks so cool.
I'll never get to play it.
Is it Xbox only?
Xbox only.
Hey, guess what, Alan? I'm going to be a little hostile on the show. What are you recording this on right now?
A computer?
Oh, a computer. You can play it. Sorry, keep going.
I don't play games on my computer,
but
Michael.
You could. You don't, but you could. Keep going.
Michael, computers are for Facebook. What are you talking about, man?
That's right. The console. It's the console wars. Video games have no business being on computers. They're for word processing.
Hey, I have a bad news for you, Alan. The PlayStation 5 is just a desktop computer.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Because I use this.
You can use that on your computer.
PC. That's the best part. I use mine on my PC.
If they would add trophies to the PC, I would play it on PC.
There are achievements. There are achievements for Xbox games.
What, on Steam?
No,
there's Xbox achievements on PC.
I don't have an Xbox.
Alan,
but if you have a PC, you can play your Xbox games on PC and get the achievements for them.
Do you remember when the PS3, Alan, and then you hated the interface and you made the switch? I think it's time for you to make the switch again.
Back to PC?
No, back to
PC?
Microsoft.
Back to Xbox?
Back to Xbox.
I didn't know a single person that owned an Xbone. Not one.
You know two now.
Yeah. You think I should go to a Series X?
Hey, you'll get you get to play.
You'll get a lot of games.
There is a freaking awesome release schedule for the Xbox.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be able to play. I wouldn't be able to play Chaos.
All right, let's dive into that.
Let's talk about
Final
Chaos.
Fantasy Origins.
16.
Is Final Fantasy Origins all it's called, or is there subtitles?
It's called Stranger in Paradise, Final Fantasy Origins.
There you go. Yes. This trailer made me laugh.
It is
and not in a good
trailer.
way.
It's the worst trailer I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yes.
Never seen a worse video game trailer in my life.
It's something else.
It's a dude talking all edgy, and I want to hear your guys' impression of the dude.
We're here to kill chaos.
I need to kill chaos.
Are you
They say something like it's not a want, it's not a need.
It's a hunger.
It's a hunger. I can feel the darkness closing in.
Are you guys?
Good news.
Why are you guys here? We're here to kill chaos.
Alan, you actually played the demo though, you said it was
the demo today, and it is very similar. It is definitely a Souls-like game, where when you go to the save points, it refills your potions and restores your health, but brings all the enemies back. And it's cool because so I died a bunch because it's bullcrap. But you have a job system depending on what weapon you're using. So you start out as there's 6 jobs in the demo. There's the warrior, the mage, and the lancer who uses a spear. And then there are 3 advanced classes of those. I didn't play it long enough. I didn't struggle long enough to earn the advanced classes. But it's quite fun. It plays a lot like Bloodborne. It's fast paced like Bloodborne. You can parry, but parrying breaks your break gauge. The more you hit them, the more you break their break gauge. And if their break gauge is down, that's when you can do that thing from the trailer where you go
that's when you kill chaos.
Yeah, that's where you turn the red.
He turns them into crystals and then headbutts them or something.
Yeah,
but so you can parry and counter, but that breaks your break gauge if you do it too much, and then you're sitting there stunned, and then they kill you like they did to me frequently. But it was really fun experimenting with the different jobs, and it ends when you actually get to that part where you fight Garland and who is I'm going to become chaos. And it was tough. But the mage class is really cool because you can actually regen your MP to use your specials. Everyone else just uses MP and you have to get it back by parrying. But the mage, you hold down the button to charge your spell and you recharge your MP, and you can select from a power wheel if you want to use fire, water, ice, lightning, air, or earth. And it was just really cool getting to play the mage. As soon as I got the mage, I did so much better because I got to attack from a long way away. I played the least with the lancer, but it was quite fun. There's a lot more systems in play than Bloodborne.
Sure.
And the equipment, afterwards, they make you take a survey. And in the survey, I said very dissatisfied with what did I think of the character and equipment graphics / models. I said very dissatisfied because I think the equipment looks ridiculous. It's freaking Nomura. So first of all, you start with your Target t-shirt like you do in the trailer. But your equipment changes your appearance. But all the equipment, you literally look like a goth from the 90s who shopped at Hot Topic and bought a bunch of patterned t-shirts or trench coats with a bunch of belts and buckles on them.
You're saying a good thing, but the way you're saying it's like it's a bad thing.
It's not a good thing. It's bad.
You're mixing some stuff up.
No, it looks so edgelordy.
Yeah, you look tight. You look dope, dude.
It somehow seems like you expected differently from a game with that trailer.
Yes.
You think somebody gonna kill chaos isn't gonna wear a trench coat?
Look, they're still taking suggestions, so I put in very dissatisfied, and then in
democracy is important.
In the box to leave comments, I left. I think the equipment looks ridiculous. So
I'm so glad you did your part, dude. It's very important.
Yes.
But it was fun. If you have a PS5, I do suggest downloading it and playing it because it was worth playing. I thought it was going to be terrible based on that trailer, but it was actually kind of fun. So I am cautiously optimistic that it will actually be a fun game.
Andrew, want to bust through anything else?
Real quick. The Top Gun DLC for Microsoft Flight Sim, I'm super excited about. I love Microsoft Flight Sim.
That game looks beautiful, dude.
Yeah, it looks beautiful. And then the last game I'll talk about, A Plague's Tale Requiem. I was not expecting this.
Have you played Innocence?
I did play Innocence. It's awesome.
I have not played it. Oh, I'm adding it right now.
I have. No, Alan, this is a game I think you would really like.
It's awesome. It's one of the rats, right?
Yes, it takes place during the Black Plague. in ancient history. So awesome. This is the sequel to that game. I'm excited. I love the first one. I'm excited for the second one. Awesome. So yeah, definitely highly recommend that one.
Okay. I'm just going to bust through the list of games that I saw that are rad real quick, in addition to the ones that you've already mentioned, because a lot of those don't sound really cool. The beginning of one of those press conferences, we saw a Metal Slug trailer, and I was very confused because it turned out to be a Metal Slug Tactics game.
Yes.
Which I love tactics games, and I've always loved the art in Metal Slug games, but you can actually look at it because those games are hard as crap.
Yeah.
So
hard.
As someone that has loved the way those games looked since I used to play them in a Burger King back in Okinawa when I was a small child, I think Metal Slug Tactics looks potentially awesome. Lost Ark, which is like Amazon Prime's first attempt at like making their own game, and they're making this MMORPG, which is a genre that I have expressed interest previously in being it's the genre I want to be best because it has the potential to be the best because everybody could be in the same space and do things together. I want to see what Lost Ark has to offer. I watched the deep dive they did. It looks like there is a mixture. It looks like they focused a lot on PvP in the original alphas, and people were like, hey, we want some PvE content, so they're adding that into the game. I haven't played it. It looks action oriented as opposed to just being on a regular circle cooldown timer the way the old RPG or older MMOs are, but we'll see. I'm curious what Lost Ark is going to be. The Dark Pictures House of Ashes game, which is showing up. I'm excited about that because I've been playing the other Dark Pictures anthology games. I just finished, Little Hope? Yeah, I just finished Little Hope last night, and that was even better than Man of Medan, which neither of them are probably quite as good as the
Until Dawn.
Until Dawn, which is, I love that game. But I love that style of game. I love being able to play with people. Actually, we've teased the idea about having a feature on the site where Alan and I play through probably Little Hope at this point.
Yeah, we're currently playing Man of Medan with the little t-shirts and the dude bros walking around.
I think that could make for some really good content for this channel because that game is freaking hilarious, and also you can hear Alan's commentary while you just randomly hear me yelling absurdly loud because I get scared by every single little thing in the game. But House of Ashes is the third one of those. It looks weird because it's like the War on Terror. They go to like freaking Afghanistan and fall into a tomb or something. Like, what the frick is that? The trailer was weird. Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. I think that could be a game that we could all four potentially play and have like content be made from that because it just looks like an action RPG.
What system is it on?
Probably everything. I'm guessing it's a third person.
The original Dark Alliances, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 and 2 for the PlayStation 2 were excellent. They were really fun, kind of like Diablo, but I thought they were better than Diablo because they were less loot based, more story based, and using the D&D mechanics. I really enjoyed Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance 1 and 2.
These ones look really action focused. They look third person action focused.
Yeah, that's what it was.
My guess is they're probably going to be closer in mechanics to my guess, just based on the sheer amount of other games like this, is they're probably going to have like Left 4 Dead style mechanics where there's different things that can neutralize an individual party member. You have to work together to use your different skills to take out those advanced enemies. I mean, it's a very ARPG thing to do, but also everything this year liked to add a little bit of Left 4 Dead flair. I don't know when that game came out, but they've decided that this is the year everything is going to add Left 4 Dead mechanics. There was an indie game that was showcased in the Wholesome Indie Game stream. It was called Lake, and it's a game. I love some of these like quote unquote walking simulator games that are just really story focused or atmospheres focused. It's a game called Lake where you play a male person. You're just a lady who's a male person, and she goes about and like you get to talk to all of the people she delivers with. You get to develop relationships with people. You get to find out about her personal life. It seems like one of those super chill, artful, hipster games that I sometimes get really into. I thought that looked rad. Slime Rancher 2, they announced, which I thought Slime Rancher looked cool when it was like way early access stuff, but I never checked it out. And then over the Christmas break this year, I played Slime Rancher with my kids, and it was so fun. It's silly, it's ridiculous. It can get out of control if you don't know what you're doing, which I didn't look up anything at the beginning. But when I saw that there was a Slime Rancher 2 trailer, that made me excited because, of course, they're just going to add more slimes and more things to do with said slimes. One of my favorite art styles that I saw at E3 this year was this indie game called Replaced, which I think is coming to Xbox. I think that was the place where they showed it. It's one of those like 2D meets 3D art styles, but it's like cyberpunky and also like post-apocalyptic. I will show a trailer when I talk about this in the video, but holy crap, I don't know what it was about the art style during the trailer. That game spoke to me. I have no idea what the game is about.
It looks cool. But
the art alone had me just really into it. Life is Strange True Colors. The weirdest thing about Life is Strange at this conference is we got a lot of teasers for the Life is Strange remastered thing, which I love Life is Strange. Alan, I believe you played Life is Strange?
Yes. I didn't play the second one, but the first one is excellent.
Okay, that's the thing I kind of thought was weird. Life is Strange is getting remastered, which is cool. They're moving it to the new engine that everything is playing on. There's going to be a third Life is Strange game called True Colors. It's just so weird that they're talking about Life is Strange 1 and Life is Strange 3 as if Life is Strange 2 doesn't exist.
I think 2's on the remaster.
I think 2 is also on the new engine, which is why they're not talking about it as much. It just seems so weird to pretend it doesn't exist. Like they're showing trailers that have the characters from the first and third games playing together, like in these cartoon trailers, but the characters from the second game are just not there, which I guess could mean they just died.
Did you play the second one?
I did not play the second one yet. But Life is Strange True Colors looks potentially cool. We talked about Riders Republic. Last game I will mention is the Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope game. I think Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle was way better than it had any right to be. It was a tactics game that at first I threw it away because it was not I felt like it was too simple, and I think that first level is really simple. But there's depth to that game. It's way better than it has any right to be. And I had a lot of fun. I just beat it like a couple months ago, and I was like, dang it, I actually really freaking like this game. And so I'm glad they're making a freaking sequel.
Yeah. Mario Golf also.
Oh, I did
Mario
not put that on my
Golf
list. That was on your list. I am super excited. That comes out this month. I'm freaking excited for the new Mario Golf game. I love golf games. They're so freaking cool. I don't like most sports games, but golf games are always cool. Can we all come to this agreement?
I like Mario Golf.
Yeah. Me too.
Mark?
I mean, I'll play it. I don't know.
I appreciate
you, dog.
Are
What
you
the
gonna play,
frick?
Are you going to play Waluigi in it?
Of course.
Michael?
I will play a me in it so I can get my RPG elements in my golf game.
Are we all excited about also the new WarioWare?
Oh, the new WarioWare. I don't know because it's weird because it looks like you control a person in it.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about that.
I hope that's good. I really enjoyed the one on the DS.
Excited.
I don't have a Switch, so...
WarioWare is insane. Dude, we need to buy you so many things.
I don't have a Switch. When would I play it? Like, between BookTube and all of the PlayStation 5 or PlayStation 4 RPGs I
Well, you don't have any... So there's no PlayStation 5 RPGs pretty much coming out.
True.
So you're fine on 5.
It's all PS4s.
Yeah.
We need you to share this. We need you to share this video. We need you to listen. I'm going to release an audio version of this podcast. We need you to support this just so we can buy Alan some video games so he realizes that there are other systems than the PlayStation 5, which unfortunately doesn't have any games right now.
I know. I'm playing a bunch of PS4 games. Yeah, but I play them faster.
Yeah, after E3, I'm less bummed that me and Danny haven't been able to get a PS5. I was like, oh, okay. I think we're okay.
Yeah.
We'll get one eventually.
Right. One more person's notes to go through. Mark.
I'm really excited for Guardians of the Galaxy. Except for the fact that I actively disliked their take on Peter Quill. Like, I don't think I've ever had a video game where I saw a protagonist I was like, I don't like this person.
See, I think he was the best part.
It's so weird that they're cashing in on the MCU.
Sucks so bad.
It's so weird that they're cashing so hard in on the MCU, but they don't have any of the likenesses from the MCU. It's so weird to me.
Yeah.
I need Square Enix, to produce RPGs and to stop screwing around.
According
with
to
the
a recent
MCU,
according to the recent definition of RPGs and the top 10 between you and Michael,
Guardians of the Galaxy
there is leveling up in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, non-licensed. Like, I want them to produce JRPGs, not just RPGs of the Avengers and the Guardians of the Galaxy.
Then Kingdom Hearts shouldn't be in that list.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like Kingdom Hearts like Michael does.
Anyway,
Kingdom Hearts can be a subject for a future episode.
Yes, absolutely.
Evil Dead the game. I didn't watch the movie. I like Bruce Campbell a lot, though.
Yes, absolutely.
Bruce Campbell just kind of rules. So I think playing a game where he's just narrating stuff. Tribes of Midgard.
Yeah.
Does that play like a Diablo? That's what it looked like in the trailer.
It looks like it plays like a Diablo, but it also has survival elements. I thought that game looked weird and not great.
Anything So I like to play games with Danny. So anything where she doesn't have to relearn how to control a game. So like we played a lot of Minecraft Dungeons.
Word.
I was like, okay, she knows roughly how this plays. It'll be a lot of fun. Solar Ash. I know nothing about this game except for everything about the art design in it is.
That's the one that freaking looks like
It looks almost like a 3D version of
Hyper Light Drifter.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
And Hyper Light Drifter rules, and I was like, okay, Diablo 2. I would like.
It's the same developer.
Okay. Yeah. The Hyper Light Drifter was a great game. Diablo 2.
Yeah, Diablo 2 is coming out again,
Diablo
boys.
2. Yeah.
We have to get.
It looks freaking rad.
Dude, we have to get Dad to play Diablo 2 with us again.
Oh heck yeah, dude!
Can you imagine playing Diablo 2 with Dad again?
I don't know if you'll get your mom to sign off on that.
I wasn't gonna tell anybody that we're brothers, but frick, I guess we screwed that one up.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, people will inevitably complain that we sound too much the same.
We do get that complaint on every freaking podcast.
Dude. All the time. Contraband. I play games usually for cooperative fun times with friends, and it seemed like just something to do with a person. Sea of Thieves, the Pirates of the Caribbean update.
Yeah.
I made a mistake and talked Danny into buying Sea of Thieves. And then we played it for like a day and realized that there's nothing to do in that game.
Oh, that's not true.
Still, there's not a lot to do.
You need a bigger crew.
Yeah,
Sea of Thieves is the game I want to like the most that I have been unable to.
We need to get a Press X Sea of Thieves stream.
Press X community of Sea of Thieves.
Yes, I would totally be down with that.
More getting added to that game so I can justify to Danny us playing that, and I didn't convince her to waste money on a thing that we spent very little time on. Would be nice. And then Life is Strange is coming to the Switch, which I'm excited about. I haven't played it. Yeah. So, and then Metroid Dread. I've never played a Metroid game, but I watched the trailer for that, and it looked awesome.
Something about that trailer gave me a vibe that it was probably one of those Metroidvania.
At first, I thought it was a Fusion remake. It's a
Metroid game.
Yeah, it definitely. Yeah, it's one of those.
It was the dumbest joke I could have possibly made.
But yeah, Metroid Dread seemed like it could be a thing I'd sink my teeth into a lot. So
yeah.
Besides that, though, mostly I just picked games because I like superheroes or to play with my wife. But Metroid Dread was a game I feel like I'd actually spend
That was a funny announcement because they're like, you know us because we're working on Metroid Prime 4. We're not going to talk about that. Here's this other Metroid game.
I like when Nintendo does those super, super bad, like...
Yes.
It's like... I tried to have this conversation with my wife once, which is like, if you're going to make a joke about something, don't make the joke answer better than what's really happening. Don't be like, and guys, we're working on Breath of the Wild 2, but instead we're releasing freaking Skyward Sword HD. It's like, oh, what the frick? Why would you say that? Why would you even mention the name?
Yes. So good.
Okay, we have gone through all of the games that we wrote down on our list. Let's quickly say which is the big company that won E3, and I think that it's easy Xbox. Is there any argument that Xbox won E3?
Sony.
Yeah, I was gonna. Dude, can you imagine the power play?
What a heel turn that Alan decides to defend Sony at the end of this podcast.
No, Sony did not win, and neither did anybody who didn't bring the freaking new. What is BioWare doing? Why is BioWare not there?
BioWare is trying to figure out how to make a video game. Like they clearly
don't
know what they're doing anymore.
Yeah, they're trying to make a new Mass Effect. They're trying to make a new freaking Dragon Age.
I know, and so we didn't get any Bioshock 4 news from who makes Bioshock? I forget.
It was.
Well, what's his name? Quit. So
yeah, but who was publishing it?
1 and 3 were by the same people. 2 was different, I think.
I just don't think we're going to get.
Played Infinite. I have no idea.
I don't think we're going to get Bioshock news for a while.
Bioshock is. We need to talk about Bioshock in another episode.
2K games.
2K games.
Levine,
yes.
But the head creator guy Levine left, so who knows what that means?
We need to talk about Bioshock in another episode.
Ken? That's right. Ken did.
Yeah, he's not there anymore.
He's making movies now.
Regardless, we're getting Bioshock 4. We heard nothing. We're getting a Mass Effect 4 starring Shepard because BioWare has proven they can't do jack if they don't have Shepard. And then we're getting a Dragon Age 4, which hopefully will go back in the other direction of good games and not more in the direction of crap games like Inquisition.
Well, it starts with Alistair just ruling. That's how it rules. That's how it opens.
I will play a Dragon Age Kingdom Sim starring King Alistair.
You made a good point there because actually EA, with the exception of Battlefield, was mostly absent.
I didn't bring it up for the sake of time, but Battlefield does look cool. But yeah, EA they didn't show their new Star Wars game. They didn't show Titanfall 3, which is rumored. Apex wasn't there. EA was non-existent.
EA was mostly absent with the exception of Battlefield. I forgot. I did not even notice that until just now.
Yeah.
Also, what was the biggest surprise of E3? I wrote this down, and I didn't think that we were going to have any discussion about this. This episode is going to go slightly longer than normal. Normally, we're going to aim for an hour, but this is obviously E3.
Yeah.
What was your biggest surprise? Because I thought that we would have no argument here, but also there's somebody that people wrote things down on the notes here.
So I put in Sea of Pirates of the Caribbean as a surprise.
That was a good surprise.
That was a decent surprise.
Surprising that Sony just dipped out and didn't announce anything.
Yeah, that was gonna be mine. The fact that Sony was not there.
That's a good answer. I thought the answer was going to be Ubisoft dropping the Avatar adaptation.
Yeah,
dude.
I thought about putting that on there as a joke.
Making a James Cameron's Avatar video game is the freaking wildest, most random thing I've ever seen at E3 press conference.
Yeah.
Is Avatar that good?
20 years old?
People talk about Avatar.
11, I think. So yeah, 10 years old.
It's a pretty movie that was a derivative story that was fine, but James Cameron has this plan for it to be like these 7 movies. I think he wants it to be his own Star Wars, and at the end of the Ubisoft press conference, they're like, one more thing. And I'm like, Splinter Cell. Yeah. They're like, Avatar. And I was like, what the frick? Who would have guessed that? Of all things. Can we all decide on a Press X to Revolution Game of the Year?
E3 Game of so best of show, I guess is what you're asking.
I assume that we're talking about Elden Ring. If we're going to split between the
I think it's the one that we all agreed on.
Yeah.
Yeah. If we're talking about best in show, probably Elden Ring. Yeah.
Which is odd because
if we all have to agree on the game, probably.
Yeah, because they didn't really show a lot of Elden Ring, but
do we want to try to make an argument? I was going to say, do I want to make an argument for Riders Republic?
No, I will be the holdout vote. This will be 12 angry men stuck in a jury room.
Yeah,
I guess we have to go with Elden Ring.
That episode of Malcolm in the Middle where Lois wants them to try.
I don't think I've ever seen one episode of Malcolm in the Middle.
Oh man, this show rules.
You're missing out. It's funny.
Yeah. For me, it was probably, if we're picking individuals, whatever, I don't know. I really came out of E3. There's some stuff I'm excited for, but it was I really felt kind of like it was a wash this year. I wasn't really excited about what was happening.
It's crap.
Alan thought it was crap. Mark?
It was fine. Me and Daniel planned on getting a PS5. Nothing was announced for that, so I was like, maybe we should just buy an Xbox. I don't know. And then until Nintendo, I was like, I don't think I'm going to get to buy anything. I'm not going to get any games till that came out. I was like, oh, okay. I'll get something eventually. But
I'd give it a 5. I say it's a 5 out of 10 E3. I love that we got focused on games. The games were not all my favorite. There was no crazy, super awesome things other than Elden Ring that I'm dying to play. There were some things that I sort of wanted, like a Splinter Cell, like a Remedy game, which I know is a lot to ask, but also kind of not because Control's a couple years old
when did Control come out? Yeah.
They just released last October. They just released the final DLC for Control, so they are done with Control. So I heard some rumbling about Control 2. Before, but I haven't heard anything else about anything else.
Yeah. So, there were things that I wanted to see. There were things that we saw that we wish were better. So, all in all, I would say it was an okay E3. It's not the worst E3. Definitely not the best E3.
Agreed.
Well, anyway, that's going to wrap up the first episode of this Press X to Revolution thing. So like I said, we're going to have a YouTube channel. We have a website where I am writing on the website, pressxtorevolution.com, I have a list of tons of trailers, including all of the games that we talked about here and more, separated out by press conference. We are going to have a YouTube channel where I will post the video version of this podcast. I will also have there's an RSS feed. You'll be able to look up Press X to Revolution once the podcast goes live. I will tweet that out. We have Instagram and a Twitter account, which will be linked in the video below. Also, we'll be sharing things on all of those locations. I want to give each of us the opportunity to talk about anything we have other than Press X Revolution going on aside. Alan, what other projects are you working on that you might want to tell people about?
Commander, you've received a new message at your private terminal.
My text message noise is Kelly Chambers saying, "Commander, you have a new message at your private terminal."
I thought that was the Mass Effect game coming through.
No, it's my phone. I have a booktube channel called the Library of Allenxandria where you can I talk about books. And Michael and I just finished. If you have not watched Michael and I's discussion of our top 10 RPGs loosely of all time, it's very good, especially episode 3 where Michael has a mental breakdown about Luigi and Waluigi.
This was the proto version that sort of got the idea for this podcast started. So yeah. He's got a Twitter. I'll link all of our socials in the thing down below. I also have a booktube channel where I talk about books. We also had that thing where we talked about RPGs, but most of the time I talk about books. But who the frick who plays video games read books?
Yeah, no. Andrew, I can't believe we do a podcast with these nerds, dude.
Nerds!
Reading a book.
Marc, anything you want to hype? You want to give out your Instagram, whatever?
I make fun of the college education system on Wednesdays, essentially. I make fun of anything on Wednesdays. I do a wisdom Wednesday on Instagram, and I make fun of my own life, but when I am forced to go through the college system, then it's me just talking about how I hate school. And then occasionally, when I get off of my butt and I'm not being lazy, I make fun of one of the best shows of all time called Alias.
Oh, I have some things to talk to you about, Marc.
Alias.
I've never seen one episode of Alias.
That's
okay,
bizarre.
Here's what you gotta do. You gotta watch Alias and then watch my sister show.
Do you have a companion show with Alias?
I have a... Yeah, I'll send it, dude.
It's a recap show. It's a recap show. It is very funny. I don't want to interrupt. I just want to say that if you're watching Alias at any point in time, realize that this was a show that was very popular and regular people watched the show.
Regular people watched it.
How the frick was this primetime TV? All my parents and my uncles and aunts all watched this freaking show, and it's the most wild, insane thing to imagine that.
Like, I remember where Alias goes, and I talked to Michael about it one day, and in my head, I was like, I'm sure they don't get there till season 4 or 5, and then I'm halfway through season 1 of this rewatch and making this thing about it, and I'm like, wait, what? I was like, this can't be a thing that normal people watch. I was like, this is an anime. The show is unbelievable. Oh, it's wild, dude.
Awesome.
Alias rules so hard.
I've started season 1.
Yeah, dude,
Andrew,
Alias rules.
Andrew, where can people find you?
So I really don't have much of a social media presence outside of this channel, so you can really look to follow me and keep up with what's going on here.
Are you going to start Instagram to post pictures of your motorcycle?
Probably not, but what you probably will want to see me doing is starting to probably some streams. I kind of tossing around some ideas. I play a lot of shooters online. I don't have great internet, so that kind of is all on hold right now. But once I get that situation settled, I'd love to get online and do some community streams or maybe some stuff with some of my other friends and even with some of these guys here. So you can look forward to stuff like that, hopefully.
Andrew will be playing Assassin's Creed Unity multiplayer for the trophies with me.
Yes, we will be. Yeah, we should stream that.
We are planning on trying to get some other video features together. We are also planning on, like I said earlier in this episode, trying to make this a weekly podcast where we can all gather and talk about different things. The shows that we have thrown around, I'm very excited about. It's just a matter of getting them to happen, because unlike the professionals who do this for a living, we're regular people like you, and we have other things that we have to do.
And I have no problem telling you if a game is garbage. I don't care if I get blacklisted.
I think if they've reached this point in the episode, they may have realized that you are unashamed.
That's right.
Yeah, man, I wish we were recording with the energy Alan came into this with, dude. I'll just be like, Michael, what's wrong with you?
If you like this episode, please share it with anybody that you know that likes video games. Please like it, comment on it.
And subscribe.
If it gets to the podcast, if you like it, subscribe. If you hear it on the podcast, rate it on iTunes. Do people still ask for people to do that? Because we're going to be releasing some podcast streams as well.
Yes.
Click the bell.
All the things. Smash the like button. So you guys smash it.
You can just press it.
And don't press it. Smash it. And if you pressed it, Well, I was going to say if you press it again, but that unlikes it, so don't do that. Thank you for watching or listening. We hope to see you again soon. Until next time, press X to revolution. Should we do something dumb? I was going to do like an X crotch chop. Like, should I do that?
It doesn't work.